Hey, Yinz guys and gals, gather round for a journey like no other. It's time to hop on board the Where Yinz Goin podcast. From the rivers that meet at the point to form downtown Pittsburgh, to the Great Salt Lake, to the furthest corners of the globe, Matt and Katie will be your compass, your confidants, your companions of that, as we explore the wonders of travel. So kick back, relax on your couch, and let the wanderlust wash over Yinz as we discover new horizons and reminisce about old favorites. With Matt and Katie by our side, the sky's the limit. Join Matt and Katie on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, because when it comes to travel, the journey's just getting started. And now, without further ado, let's give a shout for your guides through the highways and byways of travel, the planning partners, the travel tandem, Matt and Katie.
How you doing? Welcome to the Where Yinz Goin podcast. I'm Matt. I'm one of your hosts. Joining me again today is my co-host Katie and our frequent contributor Justin. Welcome everyone.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
I'm
good.
festive. And I'm festive because that's what we're going to talk about today. The festivals at EPCOT. So every year, EPCOT has various international festivals because it's all international. We're going to go through them today. We're going to mention all the other ones. But then we're going to focus on the EPCOT International Flower and Garden Festival, which starts on the March 5th and runs through June 2nd. Now, there's also the EPCOT International Festival of the Arts, which it's over now. It ran from January 17th through February 24th. Later on this year, there will be the EPCOT International Food and Wine Festival. It's going to run from August 28th through November 22nd. And then, well, you got to give a whole 6 days before you get to have another festival, because the EPCOT International Festival of the Holidays will run from November 28th through November 30th. So for big chunks of the year, specifically in the winter into the spring, and then from the end of the summer in through the end of the year, you have something to celebrate at EPCOT. So what? There's only, let's see, a few weeks between the Arts and the Flower and Garden Festival, and then a couple weeks between the holidays and then when the Arts Festival starts. And so you're missing June and July and August, where there's really no dedicated festivals at EPCOT. Otherwise, got a lot of stuff to party about.
And I think it's great because Epcot is a destination in and of itself on a normal day, but these festivals are there in addition to the magic of Epcot. But you don't pay anything extra to experience them. They're just a little extra little bonus of being in the park, and they really do like set a whole different tone. Each festival has a different feel to it. Each festival has a different just like a different life to it. And I think that they're all so incredible to experience. And it's just kind of an extra little bonus of visiting Walt Disney World and Epcot during this time.
And they all feature special food. And Katie just smiled very broadly at that one.
Yes, food is my love language.
Let's get into talking about the EPCOT International Flower and Garden Festival. First, flowers. There is basically an explosion of color. That there are flowers everywhere. That normally Epcot is decorated with all of the topiaries, and it just like any other Disney park. It just looks gorgeous. But now it is above and beyond. If that's even possible to have more stuff at Epcot. Although it might not be good for those who have allergies.
Yeah.
It takes a year. They like start planning these, like the horticulturists at Disney. It takes them a whole year to prepare for the festival. And so they begin like the day that it's over, they begin doing it all over again. And I know like we've talked about like jobs you'd like to have at Disney. I think it would be so cool to be one of the horticulturalists that like gets to plan the flowers and stuff like that and take care of them and like nurture them and make them grow big and strong so they can be displayed at the the Flower and Garden Festival. I think that would be such a cool job to have.
Very interesting job. Actually, one of my good friends from high school did it for a summer. He was from Penn State and went down and was part of the college program, and that's what he did was work on all the plants during the year. And so some very long and challenging nights, he said, but he loved it.
Speaking of the Disney College program, if you want to learn more about that, stay tuned for an upcoming episode soon. All right, so besides the actual just flowers, the topiaries, which they're the shaped plants that there's a lot of ones that are in the shape of Disney characters, and some of your favorites like Tiana, and especially for this year, Coco and Dante, the Madrigal family from Encanto, and of course there's the favorites of Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Pluto, Goofy, Daisy that you see throughout the park at the other, especially, well, no matter what the festival is, you're going to see some of these topiaries. But they really go all out for the Flower and Garden Festival. And I actually got to see how they make these on the Backstage Magic behind the scenes tour that they don't offer it anymore. But back when you got to see it, they went through all four parks. And if you listen to the podcast episode that we did on behind the scenes stores, you get to hear a little more about this. But this part, it's really, really neat how they do it. That they had some of them that were partially assembled that we got to see. So they had some that were completely made, some that were partially made, and then just like the wireframes them. So we got to see like in progress the different stages of it. And other than the wireframes or the metal frames that they use, they are completely made completely from organic material. So sometimes they'll use like a dye or a paint to get the colors right. And sometimes they'll use like a dried plant material like palm fiber or cocoa fiber mats. So it's not actually growing, but it came from something that was living once. So it's really neat that they're using stuff that is all organic, that there's nothing, artificially made that's on them other than the frames at least.
There's 100 different Disney character or 100 different characters that they grow. And this year, ready for me to get my geeky out? Guess who's back this year? Phineas and
Mickey.
Ferb.
Oh,
Phineas and
that
Ferb.
that's
They have been like taking a little break. But they're back. I love Phineas and Ferb. I love Perry the Platypus too. Love him. My favorite. Oh, best show ever. So Phineas and Ferb are back, and I'm excited to see them. That will be so much fun. Yes. You guys aren't Phineas and Ferb fans? I love Phineas.
oh no, well this is geez. It's got to be more than 10 years ago that I was down in Disney and my one nephew loved Phineas and Ferb and he wanted to get a hat with Perry the Platypus. And so I was walking through all the different gift shops and I think I eventually found it in Epcot at the Mouse Gear store. And so he was extremely happy to get his Perry the Platypus hat. Of course, now he's in college and studying like aerospace engineering and stuff, but back then it was a big deal.
Do you know who I love the most in Phineas and Ferb? Doofenshmirtz. Like he's the best dad, but like such a dastardly little guy. But he's such like he's like the best dad to his little daughter Vanessa. Oh, okay. Anyways, topiary that I'm a big fan of, because yeah, okay. Like the little aside, like Phineas and Ferb.
Whenever they were younger, that was a staple watching it whenever I was over at their house. So I
love a character that's like a triangle.
it's geometric. I like it.
Like as a math guy, Matt, how can you not love it?
So now, speaking of different shapes, there are actually different types of these topiaries. So there's the free form topiary, which you just let it grow and then you trim it. So you get your shears out and your hedge trimmers and to pull the old Three Amigos line. We pruned of the hedges of many small villages. And so that's how you do it. It's just, very artistic ability with your shears and your hedge trimmers, which I tried to do with mine, but I'm just not that good. Then there's a standard form topiary where the plant is encouraged to quote unquote encouraged to grow in a certain way after it reaches a specific height. So you kind of see this on the Living with the Land tour, that they'll grow the pumpkins in the different shapes. So they will put, whatever plant it is into kind of a frame, and the plant kind of grows that way, or they'll have lighting on certain ways, or whatever it is they're going to use to make the plant, take a more of a, well, quote unquote, natural shape of it. And then there's the shrub topiary, which is the one that most people see, that you use a metal frame to grow in a specific shape. Now, these can take 3 to 10 years to grow, to get these to grow correctly. And then the most common one is the sphagnum, sphagnum topiary. And at least at the International Flower and Garden Festival, this is what you'll see the most, that they have heavy steel frames that are stuffed with sphagnum moss. And then they use fast growing plants and irrigation tubing inside the frame. So they don't need to actually go out and water it, that they can just pump the water through. So this is kind of like the other things that you're seeing at Epcot in the land, on the Living with the Land attraction, of how the different ways they can, get irrigation to other plants without having to, just use all the water. And it's a lot more efficient. There's no waste of the water. It's always all going exactly where they need it to go. And this is pretty neat that they have that wire frame and they just stuff all this moss in there, and then the plants grow out of it. So it has all, get the nutrients and everything from the moss. And it was really, really neat to see how they did that.
I love the fact that like with each year they bring in something new or something different, or they change things just slightly. So last year they had Wishes, the Wish, uh, the movie
For
Wish,
the movie Wish.
and they added extra like lighting effects and stuff like that to her topiary. So it was kind of a cool little like extra little like they're constantly innovating, constantly finding new and different ways to like make something new and different. For you can go every year and you wouldn't see the same. You'll see some of your old favorites, just like in the parks, right? You get to do some of your old favorites, but there's always something magical and new.
That's pretty neat. If you just think of it, adding some LED lights or some fiber optics into the frame of the topiary or through the plant, and you can have something that's going to glow at night and have just completely different experience in different light settings. And it just makes it stands out, makes it that much more special and that much more magical. Now, beyond all the pretty things you can look at, there's pretty things you can buy. So the merchandise, whether it's apparel, accessories, toys, gardening gear. So you can take a bit of it home with you and have it all summer long while you're in your own garden. And of course, everything's going to feature, like a floral thing of that, whether it's flowers or bees or bright colors. And what I really think is awesome is they just released a couple weeks ago, a few things that have Spike the bee. I love Spike. He was in the one Donald Duck cartoon when Donald's at the beach. I think that's a great one. There's another one when Donald's gardening and he has his he's into apiary stuff, that he has his beehives, he's collecting honey and stuff, and Spike the bee wreaks havoc on him. But just the personality and the interaction between those two, because I love Donald to begin with, and adding Spike to it just makes it that much better. So I need to go down and get me some Spike merchandise. But possibly even more popular than Spike is Orange Bird. So Orange Bird is a bird that's orange and has a head that looks like the fruit, the orange, and it's super cute. I think he might be my second favorite behind Spike. That this character was created back in 1969, and then he debuted in 1971. He was created for the Florida Citrus Commission, and they sponsored the Enchanted Tiki Room and the Sunshine Tree Terrace, there's a mouthful, in Magic Kingdom. He was actually a walk-around character in Adventureland near the Enchanted Tiki Room during the 70s. So before any of us were alive. And then the Sherman Brothers, yes, the famous Sherman Brothers, wrote the Orange Bird song in the 1980s. So Orange Bird.
Sing it for us now. No?
Uh,
Nope. You don't want that.
microphone issues. I'm sorry, I can't sing. Oh, no, I'm trying to keep listeners, not drive them away. So I have sung professionally before, though. I will say that. Although it was singing in front of some store and they paid me to leave, so I got paid for singing, if that counts. Now with Orange Bird, there was more merchandise, specific merchandise for him, created in 2004 for Tokyo Disneyland, which, going back to our Valentine's Day thing, April 14th is Orange Day in Japan. So on February 14th, they have the Chocolate Day. On March 14th is White Day. And then April 14th is Orange Day. So I just can't wait till we keep going on to more episodes. We'll figure out what May 14th is and June 14th.
August 14th is Periwinkle Day.
It's also my nephew and my grandpap's birthdays.
That was a joke. There's no Periwinkle Day.
There should be. We can actually get that made. There's so many, every day has like a different thing, and there's calendars for it. We can always make something official. I think official Periwinkle Day will work.
Yeah.
And so the merchandise later came to the US. Conveniently enough, it was on August 14th. I'm just kidding. They made that up. So, but the Orange Bird returned to the Sunshine Tree Terrace in 2012 and got a clothing and apparel line in 2021, including the magnetic shoulder plush. So where were we? The My little girl got a little porg that'll sit on her shoulder, and she thought that was the coolest thing. So I think we need an Orange Bird
My
one
daughter
for
has one too. His name is Ichabod.
both.
Seriously. Yeah, he makes a trip with us every year. I don't really know why she named him Ichabod, but she got hers when she was 12. So Ichabod, the
Was
porg.
it around Halloween
Oh,
when she was watching Sleepy
Mhm.
Hollow or something?
No, no, she's just weird. I love her, but she's
I love Ava too. Her personality is so fabulous.
just a weird one. Ichabod, yeah, those little shoulder plushes, they're kind of cool. Like
mhm.
with all kinds of different things. And for sure, Orange Bird has become like this, like kind of like I don't want to use the word cult, but like like he's just
It's
so
a cult following.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
mhm.
happy and like you always see tons of like during especially during the flower and garden, you see merchandise with him. You see, so it's kind of like Figment for the arts festival, right? There's tons of like not the most well-known characters, but the characters that they're just are kind of special to Disney, right? That they're not like something that you like you're like they don't have like the same following as like Mickey Mouse or Belle or anything like that, but they're just like the extra little bonus characters that make the experience even better.
Clarabelle the cow.
Yes, Clarabelle the cow. I have
And
a picture with Clarabelle the cow at Disneyland.
Horace the horse. Yeah.
She meets and greets at Toontown.
Yeah, but with Orange Bird, he's been around for a really, really long time. Since the beginning of Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World to begin, in general. But it wasn't until just the past, 4 or 5 years that
Uh,
he's really gained popularity and really exploded onto the scene.
Yeah.
I was, whenever some of the stuff came up a few years ago, and I saw, Orange Bird this and Orange Bird that, and all with all the merchant, I was like, wait a minute, where did he come from? Like, did I miss something? Was he always this popular? Especially whenever I looked up the debuted in 1971, I was like, wait a minute, where have I been for the past 50 years? And now I got it. It's more recently that he just really, really took off.
Speaking of 50 years, like it was sort of surprising when they came out with the list of the characters for the statues, because that was included in one of the anniversary statues for the 50th. It's over there by Sunshine Tree Terrace.
Yeah, if you look up the signs of it, in the years past, that he's featured on there, and now he's back on it. So that's nice.
Mhm.
It's good when cute characters get their due. I'm gonna be on the record. I'm all for more cute characters. And now,
Oh.
besides cute characters and things you can buy, are things you can buy and eat or drink. So there's going to be outdoor kitchens that are found all throughout Epcot. And the offerings will vary from snacks to drinks to, I'd call them entrees,
Okay.
that it's more like a what I would consider a meal than just a little snack thing. And some of those drinks are alcoholic. Make sure you're at least 21 and have ID to prove it before you imbibe. And for a lot of these, you can use the dining program too, the dining plans if you get one. And they most of them are gonna count for a snack. So you're not even getting a full meal. They count as snacks, even though they are something that I would eat, for lunch.
So I think
And
Epcot with these festivals, I think Epcot and they all have like something food related to them because that makes sense, right? But if you're looking for like somewhere to go and you want something different to eat, you want like a lot of variety, you want to like appeal to a lot of different like palates in your group, going over and having like a food day where everybody picks a couple of different things to eat and you get a chance to experience festival food at Epcot is it's outstanding. I mean, it goes without saying that the Food and Wine Festival food is amazing and you'll see all kinds of different like varieties of different things. But even like just for like the the flower festival, it's so good. Like just different things to eat.
Katie, you're saying that making a food day, how does that differ from any other day when you're at Disney? That's like, I mean, not you specifically, but whenever you people are at Disney, that is how you should do things.
I love how we make this sound like I'm like constantly just like shoving my face full of food when I go on these trips. And that is not the case. I actually take a break and ride some of the attractions. Um,
Yeah, you need time to chew before you shove more food in your mouth. No.
I love like that's one of the things I love about an Epcot festival. I love the fact that you can go into the festival, you can not have like a real like set in stone plan of things that you're gonna do, and you can just feel the atmosphere and you can this is one of my favorite festivals. I love Food and Wine. I think it's great, and that's the one I've gone to the most. But this one was one that I went to. It surprised me how much I loved it.
And that's the thing, though, to make a serious point about what Katie was saying before about the food, is that since these are, listed as snacks, they are smaller portions. And so you can go to a few of these and try little things, and especially if, you're with someone else or, or even a group, you can get these little things and share it here and then share it there. And then, so you're not going to get overly full and, have that disgusting feeling of, oh, I can't fit another bite in. I just need to go sit down and take a nap for a while or, lay down and take a nap. That you can have these little things and sample these really, really good foods from different areas. And then you can, it's the party in your mouth and everyone's invited
Have you
all
been
day
to this
long.
festival, Justin? Have you
I
been?
have. Yeah, I've been to all of them except for the Festival of the Arts so far. Definitely have that one planned for next year. But this one, I think this was actually the first festival that my wife and I got to go to, and we had a great time. And definitely enjoyed going back with the kids because there's a lot of little cool stuff for them to see there too.
Was your impression of it the same as mine that you can't believe how much color there is? Like it seems like an explosion of color.
It does, and I mean, I know unfortunately, I'm partially colorblind, so I miss a little bit versus what everyone else gets to see, and it's still a lot for me. And I know that I've done several of the here's what a person sees versus someone with regular sight, and showed my wife, and I'm like, yeah, these two match, and she's like, oh. So I'm very interested in getting one of those sets of colorblind glasses sometime and go down. Maybe when we go down for this next time, I'll try to grab one of those and test them.
And the one time we went for this, it was just my wife and I, and it was sort of our honeymoon. That it was like 2 months after we got married, but um, we couldn't travel too much. Well, first we it was over spring break for W that we flew to Indonesia, got married, and flew back all in 1 week. So that was a heck of a thing. We not too much time to go on a honeymoon then, but then a few months later in May, whenever we got done with school for the semester, we took a trip down, and it was pretty neat. It was that year that we had gone in December, and they had a special. Actually, that was where I proposed. They had a special. You could buy a 5-day ticket, and you got 2 days free. But it did not have the typical. You had to use it within 2 weeks restriction on it, so we could use it whenever. So we did our 5 days when we had planned it, and we went down and used the other 2 days during the Flower and Garden Festival. And just if you stand where it's like Showcase Plaza, like where you transition, directly across from American Adventure, and looking back towards the spaceship Earth, or at least along those lines, and on the sides where that little lake lagoon thing is,
Mhm.
the the shores of it. Oh my goodness, the color. That normally whenever you go there, it's nice green grass and it's a vibrant green, whatever. But the flowers there, it was so bright and beautiful that was like, wait a minute, is it always? Did I miss this? Is it always like this? And then I compared other pictures, like, oh yeah, I guess that's why it was so much better.
They have
But oh, it's gorgeous.
they have over 240 floating flower planners that they float in the waters and stuff,
Oh,
rivers and everything like that. So like one of the best views, like one of the great views is to take the monorail. Take the monorail, and when it loops around, you get that just really beautiful view of the floating flower planters and yeah, so pretty.
And seeing that from above, yeah. And Katie went out and individually counted every one of those, so she knows it's an accurate number.
I had to take my shoes off, my toes to count
Get a
them.
whole group. You're like, all right, everyone, shoes off. Let's count.
Yep.
Now, with the food, these outdoor markets now, or the outdoor kitchens, they're kind of like, well, sort of like temporary structures are supposed to be, but they're there fairly permanently, especially with all the time that there are festivals in Epcot that they pretty much just stay there. Maybe during the
mhm.
summer months they're not there where it can be a little more crowded, but every other time they're there. And
Yeah.
so there were 20 on the list that I saw from last year. And the ones that are in the different countries are themed to that country and have food that is reminiscent of what you would get in that, from that country, which is really neat. Like there's the barn market, so Baurnmarkt. So it's a farmer's market, so it's German. And some of these names are just really creative. There's brunch cot, so getting your Epcot brunch. And the one thing that I would love to have there is the Fruit Loops shake.
Oh no, that sounds so sickeningly sweet. Do you think it,
Well,
what
I
color?
mean, that to me, that sort of sounds like the blue milk from Galaxy's Edge.
I don't
Uh,
like the blue milk either. Oh no.
What about the green milk? Can we
Nope.
can we sell you on that?
Nope. Nope.
Now there's like this citrus blossom. There's the Epcot Farmers Market, Florida Fresh with another one that sounds awesome. That they have grilled warm water lobster tail with key lime butter,
You can do
and
that.
then yeah, and then a Florida strawberry shortcake. So right there, all right. There's my lunch. There's my dessert. I'm happy. I can leave there a happy person. There's Florida Lise, so there's some good French food. Hanami, which you can get your ramen cups. And I can tell you right now that the next time we go down in this time of year, that's what my wife would do. Because every time we go down, it's a mission of, all right, where can I get some good ramen right now? All right, we've tried that place. Where's another place I can find good ramen? So that's definitely going to be on her list. The Honey Bistro, spelled, it's honey and then BEE-STRO. You can get some really great chicken and waffles there. I think Spike the Bee would like it.
you
Uh,
have him as a mascot.
they have to, right? There's Jardin de Fiestas, La Isla Fresca, which it has impossible Jamaican impossible Jamaican beef patty with spicy papaya syrup.
One of the
So,
things I also love about these festivals too is if you have any dietary restrictions, they're really, really good about marking them on the little sandwich boards outside of them. And there's always something like new and different that you can try that is going to fit in with like your dietary needs. So you don't have to have the same old, or like not everything is going to be okay if you have certain things, but there's new and different things for you to try too.
Right. And
it,
along with the dietary, in the little pamphlets, they normally have them indicated also if they're vegan or plant-based or whatever the case is. Um, so that can help as well in sort of planning ahead of time if you look at the little pamphlets.
and they have that on their regular menus as well. That they
Mhm.
have the different things that it's a healthier option, or it's vegetarian or vegan or gluten free. So and Katie and I talked on another episode just about traveling with food restrictions, and Disney was one of the places that we highlighted because they do such a wonderful job with working with people who either for um, just being health conscious with stuff, or more ethical reasons, or whether it's gluten thing that's health, or if it's a religious thing, whatever you need to do to get tasty food that's going to satisfy you. And at this La Isla Fresca, they also have coconut tres leches. I know my wife is a big coconut fan, so again, another place we're going to stop. Lotus House is Chinese food, the Magnolia Terrace, and Northern Bloom for Canada, chocolate maple whiskey cake.
Yes.
So I think with every word that gets better as you go along. And of course, there's another place called the Pineapple Promenade where you can get your Dole Whips. Wouldn't be a festival without a Dole Whip, right? The Primavera Kitchen, so for some Italian food, there's a refreshment port. And I love this name, the Swirled Showcase. So not the World Showcase, but the Swirled Showcase. And that's where you get your soft serve in a waffle cone. And this is great with the offerings. There's vanilla, there's peanut butter, and there's grape jelly. So peanut butter ice cream. Yes, please.
You think it comes in chunky and not chunky?
I hope it comes chunky. Have
Yeah.
little bits of peanuts on. Oh, so you just get your soft serve ice cream and then you drizzle some crushed peanuts on top.
Yep.
I could go for that. There's the Tangerine Cafe, although the way tangerine is spelled, Tangerine. So Tangiers. So it's called Flavors of the Medina. So there's your Moroccan food. There's the Trowel and Trellis, hosted by Impossible Foods. So more places you can get Impossible Foods. And then if you need that pick me up in the morning or middle of the day, or just want a tasty drink, there's Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Carts. So you run on caffeine in Disney often. And then they have some other special things to do. There's the Garden Graze, which is a plant-based food stroll. You can get a festival passport, and if you get it stamped, you can receive a prize. And last year was a souvenir cup with Dole Whip. And in the past, you've needed 5 stamps, and there were 11 options. So you don't need to go to all of them. You can pick and choose your favorites among there, but there's nothing stopping you from going to all 11 if you'd like. And if you want to party, they have the Garden Rocks concert series, if I enunciate. That is going to be at the America Gardens Theater, so right where the American Adventure is. Typically, it runs on Thursdays through Mondays. There are each night there's 3 shows at 5:30 p.m., 6:45 p.m., and then 8 o'clock p.m. So pretty much every hour and 15 minutes. the artist, so they have different artists who perform at these, and they typically do it in 2 night stints. Although I saw somebody that was doing it for an entire weekend, so for 4 nights in a row. And just to give you an idea of some of the names, that it's not just this who's that type thing. That these are some big names that you'll know, like Air
Well,
Supply.
but this list, there's some of the on this list that's some younger folks are going to be like, who's that? Because
Well, if they were brought up correctly and listened to the right music, then they'll know who these people are. It's kind of like if you are a fan of the Netflix show Cobra Kai, that Johnny, whenever he's teaching his Miguel, his one student, he's like have him listen to certain music and whatever else. He's like, "Wow, this is really good." He's like, "See, I told you." So yeah, stuff from the '80s is good. So
Yeah,
go ahead, Justin.
I was gonna say the list is unfortunately becoming more and more familiar over the past 12 years or so that I've been going to the parks. They started with ones that's like, okay, I've heard of these bands before, but not really ones I listen to now, like probably half of them are from like our time period of growing up.
bringing back junior high stomps, right? Like,
Right.
It just means Epcot's getting better. So a few of the names: Rick Springfield, Herman's Hermits, Sugar Ray, 98 Degrees, the Pointer Sisters. So it's it tends to be a little bit of Pointer Sisters can go back. And 98 Degrees, that's late 90s, so it's only 25 years ago that they hit it big. But I mean, for people who are going to be going down for this, since most of it happens during school time, you're not going to get a lot of people coming down during school, unless there are spring break things. But it's catering towards people of a certain age who are going to enjoy this, and
well,
that means people who
they're
have
all
good, people who have good taste in music. All right.
they're so much fun too. Like you get a big group of people together and like it's just fun to yeah. I mean it's a great experience. I love a concert over in Epcot. It's great.
And you don't even need to sit for the entire thing. If you're walking by, and I've done this with the kind of like processional too, you're walking by and you can hear the music just from the walkway that's out in front of the American Adventure. And if you're not going to sit for the whole thing, if you just want to stay and watch for a while and go on and whatever else, that um, it can be enjoyed in little bits if you would like, or if you didn't get there quite early enough to grab a seat.
Grab a snack, pull up a garbage can, and
Exactly.
listen to some music.
All right, don't sit on top of the garbage cans. They don't like that.
Well,
You can use them to lean against. And
absolutely,
actually,
those
that
garbage cans, those are your tables for your food festival.
I was just gonna
Right.
say that. 'Cause, hey, one, it's Disney. They're clean, okay?
I
So you,
saw when I was there for Food and Wine, I saw a lady that had an actual little checkered tablecloth that she like played on.
Oh,
It was
they sell
awesome.
those on Etsy.
Yeah.
They actually are preset ones, and they have them with different sizes, and it will include silverware, including like chopsticks. The one I saw included like a little battery powered candle. And they just roll up nice and neat and then fold out when you want to use it.
now, whenever it folds and fits over the garbage can, does it have a little pocket to keep your utensils in so they don't fall down? Now
It
that's what you
does.
need. That's awesome.
Yep.
I'm sold. And the thing is, though, whenever you use the garbage can as your table, whenever you are done with the food, it's very convenient to throw things away.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also though frowned upon if you try to box people out of using the garbage can while you're eating on top of it.
Sure.
Yeah. So be courteous and allow people through. So that's why you have to stand a little bit on the side so that the part where they put food in, put the garbage in, is onto your left or right, and then you can stand there in front and not have to worry about moving too often.
I might
May
have
or may not have done this a lot.
gotten my stare down. Like, no, you're not throwing that in there right now. I'm eating. No. Like, yeah. So all these festivals teach you new life skills too.
And of course, this is Disney. So if you're occupying one of the garbage cans as your table and someone doesn't want to throw it away, if you walk another 10 steps the other direction, there's another garbage can. So it's okay.
Right.
Or recycling, because they did that too. And they're always right next to each other. And on that note, if you pay attention to the garbage cans are themed at Disney. That if you walk from one land to the next, it's most noticeable, I think, in the Magic Kingdom. Whenever the different lands are so close and the themes are so obvious. That in Frontierland, they look like they're painted like they were made out of wood. And in Tomorrowland, they have kind of like a futuristic, silvery whatever thing to them. And in Fantasyland it has like Jiminy Cricket encouraging you to be kind and recycle. And we were at the was it Pizza Rizzo that I specifically took a picture of one that's like, hey, use guys need to recycle here. Throw it in. I forget exactly what it said. It was pretty. I posted a picture on social media for it, so you can go and search through my stuff. You'll find it. But we mentioned about maybe getting straight out from having a seat. Now, if you would like to guarantee a seat for the concert without having to wait in line very long and getting food for it, the Garden Rocks dining package is what you got to do. So again, guaranteed seat. You get an entree and a dessert or a buffet, depending on the place you're going to go to eat. And a beverage is included. And if you're at least 21 years old and can prove it with an government issued identification, it can be an alcoholic beverage. So the participating restaurants, they can vary and the prices will change depending on where you're going. It can range anywhere from $36 to $99 for adults and about $21 to $45 for the kids. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner can be offered depending on which restaurant you're going to pick. And it's Epcot, so you're going to get some really good restaurants like the Coral Reef, the Garden Grill, La Hacienda de San Angel, Nine Dragons Restaurant, the Beer Garden, Tutto Italia Ristorante, Viva Napoli Ristorante e Pizzeria, the Regal Eagle Smokehouse, Shikisai, the Sushi Izakaya, Teppan Edo, Chefs de France, Le Crêperie de Paris, or de Paris, however you want to put your emphasis on in which syllable, the Rose and Crown Dining Room, Le Cellier Steakhouse, and the Spice Road Table. Although at the Spice Road Table, you get two small plates, a shared tagine, which is a type of stew, and then you get a shared dessert platter. So a dessert's one thing, but a dessert platter is a whole other thing. All right. Anyone have a favorite from among those?
So do you know one of my favorite places to eat at Epcot is Regal Eagle? I love Regal Eagle. It's some of the best barbecue around. They have a salad that is absolute, which is ridiculous. Like you're going into a smokehouse and ordering a salad, but it's really, really good. Their food is super good. And the cast members that are in the little area, they're so kind and nice. It's just like a really good place to put your feet up. And I mean, I know that it's not like fancy food and you're in Epcot, you can experience lots of different great options. But if you're looking for something that's kind of like not risky, I love Regal Eagle. It's one of my favorites.
And for me, I'm probably Nine Dragons or Garden Grill is actually another one that the kids really like, between seeing the characters, and it's a friendly selection of food for some of the more picky eaters. So that's a nice one to have.
And with the Regal Eagle, I think Sam Eagle needs to move in there, and he can have his finally showcase his 3-hour patriotic spectacular that he never gets a chance to show everybody. He gets to go like a minute and a half of it, but still. And yeah, Nine Dragons, that's good. And the Garden Grill, my little girl loves seeing the characters, and the fact that it moves and rotates. That's just like, wait, restaurants can do that? And having it overlook the land, living with the land is pretty neat to see the boats go by.
Yeah,
That's always a favorite waving to the people down there who aren't looking up usually. Although my wife is
But
a big fan of steak, so going to Canada with Le Cellier or the Cellar. Um, Although she is also a big fan of sushi, so and the Japanese food that really is a that goes over big in our house. So that's gotten to the end of what we had to cover. Anything else you both wanted to add
So
before we get to travel tips?
I think that there's also different little like hidden little gems at this festival too. Like there's the Butterfly Haven, right? Where they
Mhm.
go in and you get to go into the butterfly enclosure and walk around the free like flying butterflies. They have an English garden tea tour. They do like Tinkerbell has a little fairy house. There's like and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, there's also like a really cool like kids playground area that they set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think of the placement. I want to say it was over, at least last time I was there, was over towards where Mouse Gears used to be,
Yeah.
was where it was at the last time I was there.
And you
And
think, oh, a playground, right? Not a big like draw, but there's always tons of little kids, and it's a great chance to like,
Mhm.
get your energy out. And I don't know, like I think Epcot sometimes is known as like the adults park, and there's not a lot of things for kids to do. But if you're gonna go to Epcot and you have little ones and you get the chance to go during one of these festivals, there's extra little things that make it even more fun for kids. And Epcot, even on a normal day, is great, but these festivals are really, really fun. I honestly like this one. Flower and garden was never really on my radar. I love flowers. I love like colors and stuff, but we just happened to have a trip that coincided to it. And now every year I want to go back. It's amazing to me. They do so much with the flowers, and they they refresh them and multiple times a year. It's really cool. Really cool.
in that
I didn't.
playground, I believe it might be a permanent fixture now. We were there just
Yeah.
after uh New Year's, and it was there, and we spent some time there. That again, it's that little area that whenever your kids are tired of waiting in line, or if the prospect of being in Disney is just a little bit too much and overwhelms them, having that playground where the kids can go and act like kids and, like I said, just run off that nervous energy or whatever, or, get the ants out of their pants from standing in line too long. That my little girl did not want to leave. It's like, hey, come on, let's go. It's like, no, I'm having fun. You want to go see Elsa and Anna on Frozen? And then she had to actually think to see which one she wanted to do more. So, but it's a wonderful thing, and it's nice and shaded. There's some trees there, so especially on a hot day in the summer. And then they have the water fountain things that they can run through. That's very near there too, right in front of Spaceship Earth. So in that whole, what is that, World Discovery area that they're doing now, or no, yeah, World Discovery, where Test Track and Mission Space. That's right in that general area where they have the water fountain that was water that will squirt up out of the ground. And we were there. It was a bit chilly. So my other girl's like, "Can we jump in that now?" Like, no, we don't have extra clothes. You'll freeze. But go, Justin. You're gonna say something.
I was just gonna ask because I hadn't noticed for this year. Are they doing any of the they used to have some little like mini instructional things that like for like if you were new to gardening or anything like that, are they doing those this year? I hadn't noticed.
I haven't seen, but full disclosure, we're recording this in kind of in February, a few weeks before the festival starts. So we have about 2 weeks until that gets going. So they might be releasing that information later on.
So
Yeah.
they do interactive activities and stuff like that. Sometimes they don't release them early.
Yeah.
I know that this year they're doing the themed scavenger hunt with Spike the Bee.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
love
that
it.
pollination exploration.
Yeah, say that 5 times fast.
I get tongue tied enough on other things. I don't need that to help.
So I just think that, like, here's the thing. We can book a trip for you to Walt Disney World, and it's going to be magical no matter what. But these festivals are just so much fun in Epcot. And I know everybody's like, there's always a festival going on in Epcot. Well, there's always a festival that's worth going to see at Epcot. They really are that good. There's a lot of time that's spent on them. It's kind of like, so for me, this one, Epcot with Flower and Garden, it's kind of like Epcot puts on its best dress and like its cutest pair of shoes and like a really cute purse and like throws on some like nice accessories. Like she's pretty no matter what every day, but she brings it for Flower and Garden.
It's a good analogy. And like you said that there's always a festival, but the festivals are all different. Now they all have food and they all have different decorations, but the different themes really make the different festivals stand out, as was mentioned here before. And it's definitely worth going. And the other really nice thing about the Flower and Garden Festival is that whenever you go down, depending on when you're going for it, it can really not be too crowded. It can be some of the more mild time. Now it's always crowded in Disney, but in terms of comparative sake, that it's some of the non-crowded times you can go down, especially like early May, um, late April type thing. Just not around Easter type thing, and especially before the kids get out. And the weather down there can actually be really, really nice. You're not there in the middle of the summer when it can be oppressively hot and humid. That you get some kind of reasonable days, and you're getting away from the winter where you can get some of those colder days where it's absolutely freezing in Disney. And by freezing on Disney, I mean it's like 55 degrees or something like that. That everyone in Florida is wearing their winter parkas.
I also think that like if you're from a cold weather place where the grass is not green and the flowers are not blooming for a couple of months, this is a great way to battle the winter blue.
Seasonal affective disorder,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's just like because really and truly you go in and it's a splash of color that you've never it's just beautiful. It is so pretty. And a trip to Walt Disney World during, the doldrums is a good way to fix it. So
I will caution you that whenever you come back, the Disney withdrawal is sometimes a little bit bad because it's like, I was at Disney, so bright and colorful and gorgeous and warm, and we still have snow here. Okay. But at least it tied you over because you know that the goodness is coming.
that's right.
Especially the way this winter's been. We've had a lot more snow and a lot more ice around this part of the country than we've had in a long while. So I think a lot of people could really enjoy getting away here in another few weeks to get away from all this white and gray that we've had around here.
Speaking of with that, there's DuckTales, the old cartoon show that the original series, not the new ones they've made. But there was one time that they go to Antarctica and they're meeting with a group of penguins, kind of anamorphic penguins, and the one little girl, they bring out like crayons and they actually have color and like there's color. That's what it reminds me of getting out of the gray, snowy, bleak north, and you get down. It's like or like Wizard of Oz. Whenever you go from with landing in Oz and opening that door into the color, it's like, oh my goodness. So, Justin, do you have a travel tip you'd like to share?
Yeah, actually the travel tip that I have, ties in pretty much with all the festivals, it is because there is so much opportunity for good food. Um, it's very easy to let the wallet run away on you and you not realize how much you spent during the course of the day. They do have usually at the festivals little gift cards that are on like a band. I know they do it for many of the festivals. I believe they do it for all of them now. That you can prepay for so much to uh, have on the card and not be surprised with oh, I've already spent $50, $100 or whatever, and it's not even lunchtime yet. So you can sort of manage your funds a little bit better by earmarking the money onto the gift card and then not pulling out your credit card or using your magic band to pay for things.
And this year with the gift card you can buy, if you put down was it at least $100, you get a special collector's pin that goes with it. I saw they announced that just a little while ago.
Oh,
A little while
nice.
ago, so that was pretty neat. I won't go down and just get the extra pin.
Right?
Wait, correction. That is the Disney California Food and Wine Festival. So that's out in Disneyland. You get the pin, not in Disney World. Katie, your travel tip?
So my travel tip is that a lot of the times when you think of a Walt Disney World trip, you think of things being very structured to get the most out of your day. You need to be here, 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 and here. And I love these festivals because at Epcot, this is a chance for you to really just take it all in, like walk around, explore things. Honestly, like the topiaries, the plants, it's just a different vibe. And I love the fact that, like, for me, when you're at Epcot during a festival, it's kind of that old school of like, just like being able to just be in the moment, not feeling like you have to rush, not feeling like, so if I'm going to do this trip, I'm going to add maybe an extra day, maybe an extra afternoon in Epcot, right? Like, just an extra, get those hopper passes. Let us help you get your hopper passes. Hop on over and do like not the like knock things off the list of attractions and things, but just take it all in because you won't regret it. I really don't think you will. It's a chance to like eat some food, sit down, watch. People watching at Epcot is one of my favorite things to do. Like it's just like you can't help but feel happy when you're around a ton of other people that are taking it all in and enjoying the magic of Disney.
And that's one of my favorite things to do at Epcot on a normal basis is that you can, and that's why Epcot is our favorite park to visit, is that you don't have that pressure of I need to be here and do this and do this and do this. If, especially in the middle of the day, whenever the lines are long and you just need to be moving around or doing something else, you can just walk around the countries and just walk through the stores just to see, oh, look, they have this thing. Oh, look, they have this thing. Oh, look at that. And look at the different shows they have, the different performers they have out front, just admiring the architecture and design of the different pavilions and World Showcase. Now that kind of does backfire because whenever we start walking through the stores, we realize, oh, I need that. Oh, and I need one of those too. So it can add up a little bit, but for something where you don't have to wait in line, you don't have to really rush through, and you can just take your time. And however long it takes me to walk through, it's going to take me to walk through. I'm enjoying my whole afternoon here. That's why you're going to Disney is to have fun. And so that's the perfect thing. And with the festivals, it just adds another element that there's more things you can do there that you haven't seen the last time.
Well, and I also think that this is also one of the reasons why you use a travel advisor. Because here's the thing, honestly, you could be overwhelmed with a Walt Disney World trip. It's easy to be overwhelmed with all the different options and all the different ways that you can create joy. And let us help you. So let it get with us. Let us help you figure out like what are the things that your family or you or your friend group or whoever you want to travel with, let us help you figure out how to like personalize and curate a trip that means that you actually have time to take it all in at the Flower and Garden Festival at Epcot, right? That you feel like every day you've gotten the things that you wanted to do, experience the magic, eaten at the places that you want to do eat at. These are the things that the reason why you get with a travel advisor. It's the reason why you call up Matt. It's the reason why you message Justin. It is the reason why you work with somebody that knows what they're doing and can help you make the most out of not only just your money, but your time, because that's just as valuable too.
That brings up a point that I have a client who's going to be traveling in June with her family that she's been planning this trip for a couple years. It's just been okay, now let's try and go. And then something happens. They had to push it back. And it's been a back and forth thing. But she's been on different websites and whatever. And she's like, do I really need to plan like every ride I want to do in order all day. Like some of these people are like, oh, no, no. And so I've been talking to her of, all right, have a general idea, know what you want to do first, know your big things you want to try and get on, but it doesn't have to be as structured as that. And those game plans never last after the first or second attraction anyway. He's like, okay, let's go over here. Oh wait, there's already an hour and a half wait. All right, Audible, Omaha, Omaha. And so, like Katie was saying, that we can give you that general idea of, okay, here's what you should plan, here's what you don't need to plan, here's where you should be more uh, flexible with what you're doing, things along those lines. So, good tip. Thank you, Katie. For mine, we mentioned it before here, but Epcot has festivals and celebrations almost throughout the year, about 8 or 9 months if you're counting. Each one is unique and has special offerings, whether it's the food, the entertainment, the merchandise, the decorations. They're all worth visiting, and they add something extra to your trip to Epcot. So check to see what's happening during your trip, or talk to your travel advisor and we can tell you about that. Or talk to your travel advisor if there's one you want to go to, and we can help you plan a trip around that specific festival. Or several festivals if you're interested in that. Because going back to see them, it's definitely worth it. If you have a destination or an experience that you'd like to have us discuss on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, or if you like to share your favorite destination or have a travel tip, please let us know. We'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. Justin, how can people get a hold of you?
The best way to see all of my information would be to go to my Linktree. That's linktr.ee/vacationwithJustin, no spaces.
For me on social media, I'm at Matt with DBD on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Email is Matt, M-A-T-T, @dreamsbydesigntravel.com. All this information is going to be in the episode description. So if you want to contact us to book a trip, or if you have any questions, you can know where to find it. You don't have to write that down now or have a photographic memory or worry about spelling. Justin and Katie, this was a lot of fun. I needed this break into a little bit of spring after the snow that we have here and school delays and cancellations and all that stuff, that I'm ready for warmer weather. Spring training is underway, so let's get going. I'm ready. Please like, follow, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend. If you like what you heard, we'd like to get the word about what we're doing here. So pass that word along. Join us next time. We're heading out in that. We'll see you later.